in Asbury Park. What?
Keep going, don't worry about it. Keep going, no worries.
Is there a problem?
No, keep going. Go.
So I'm going to confine my 5 minutes to spin off the increase in salary for the police chief, and I'm going to focus on the police chief. And since we have Mr. Lepore here, I'm going to focus on the case. I'm going to focus on the case of Jordan versus Harvey in Asbury Park. A law enforcement officer resigns, becomes a public safety director, citizen, continues to wear a service weapon unlawfully, continues to wear a police badge unlawfully, impersonates an officer, pulls people over, drives police cars, performs arrests, threatens people, signs summonses. Right? It rises to a level where it tagged on to, perhaps Mr. Renaud can clarify, another case where it was clearly indicated by the Monmouth County prosecutor that a citizen public safety director is not a police officer, cannot sign probable cause summonses, cannot drive police cars, pull people over, etc., etc., etc. So in Asbury, that's what Louis Jordan was doing. He's now, I don't know, in our high school, and he went to the prosecutor's office. But you know, when you do things wrong in Monmouth County, you seem to rise to a level where you wind up right at the prosecutor, and then right in multiple pension jobs, like in high schools, making another $150,000 a year. So that was Harvey. Now we have Roebuck, $250,000 a year guy, right? Was a police captain here, I think for 6 months, correct me if I'm wrong, resigns at the request of Schneider, I think, and conjunction, decides to become the public safety director, a citizen position, like most of us in this room, not a sworn law enforcement officer. Once you accept that position, you have to first resign as a police officer. You don't. Okay, what do you do, Mr. Renaud?
Take a leave of absence from that position, that's what happened.
Okay, he took a leave.
Service rules, that's the way it works.
Okay, but once that happens, call it a vacation or a leave of absence, call it what you want, but doesn't it mean he's now a citizen, no longer a police officer?
Well, he's on a leave of absence, yes.
Thank you. Now, Judge O'Brien, the 29th of April, I went there as a press person in that courtroom where 3 times Mr. Roebuck, as a public safety director, prevailed over Mr. Lepore, with Judge Siri, Judge Bassin, Judge LaRocca, I believe, right? All 3 times. Yeah? Lepore is guilty. Right? Now it goes to Superior Court on appeal before Judge O'Brien, October of this year. I'm there as a press person. You must get the transcript in order. Basically, Judge O'Brien criminalized your present chief, then public safety director. For what he did in this room, which is on camera, you can watch it, it's horrific. The judge says, how dare you? It was Mr. Grant that actually inflamed the audience. And witnesses says, it wasn't Mr. Lepore, it wasn't Mr. Lepore. And yet, Mr. Roebuck, who had what they call a beef with Mr. Lepore, arrested him anyway, as a citizen. Right? And then, when he called for officers who were lawfully able to carry it out, they said, sir, I don't see the disorderly. Well, you know, so he does it himself. He signs the complaint, signs the summons, right? That's against the law. Judge O'Brien, in the order, you have to get the order in the transcript, because it's not enough for you to pay $40,000 to basically investigate Mr. Roebuck, Chief Roebuck now, at taxpayer cost, and then you get a judge helping you out, Judge O'Brien, with saying, hey, your guy committed crimes as a citizen, and now he was an officer, now he's back as being an officer, and now you're talking about rewarding him with a raise. Where are we going with all this? I mean, where are we, in Venezuela? Really? How can you not get the transcript from Judge O'Brien? You spent $40,000 to investigate the police focusing on Roebuck, and now you're not going to get the order from Judge O'Brien? Counsel Renaud, please, I implore you, get the court order, you're going to have yourself some criminal charges against your present chief for what he did as a public safety director. Is that my time up? It's always a pleasure.